Service option and our department on the so that's all right.
Good morning. I'm the Reverend Sasha Ostrom, the minister here at the Morristown Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, and it's wonderful to be with you once more as we gather together for worship, for lifting up that which is of worth in this great common life we all share together. And as we settle in for the hour, let's pause and center our minds and hearts around this month's theme of cultivating compassion. And we begin today with words by the Reverend Dr. Tony A. Larson. So please join me now in the spirit of meditation or prayer. Spirit of life, we come from different spaces. Some of us come alive with hope and joy. Some of us come in loneliness or fear, looking for friendship and support, but not sure if we'll find it. Someone here is thinking of breaking up with their partner or is afraid their partner is thinking of breaking up with them. It's such a hard space to be, a place of fear and hope, anxiety, but perhaps also relief, a wrenching spot where feelings war with one another. Someone else here today is glad and secure and so grounded in their relationship that they feel they could achieve almost anything with the anchor of that love which gives them roots. Someone here is trying to quit smoking or thinking of it and is finding it one of the hardest things that they have ever had to do. Someone here may be addicted to cocaine or another drug and would be ashamed if anyone else here knew. What would they think of me? And yet, that is who I am, and I am here too. Someone may be facing unwanted pregnancy. What do I do about it? Could I handle giving birth? Could I deal with an abortion? What do my friends really think? What do I think? Someone else wants a child so badly and feels an emptiness in their heart because that desire cannot be fulfilled. Others are here out of no particularly intense feeling, yet still understanding what it means to know pain and joy. We arrive from so many places. It almost seems as if we each came to see a different movie, but we find ourselves by chance in the same theater, each hoping for something to feed our spirits, yet wondering how we can all be fed when who we are and what we need seems so different. Spirit of life, help us to see that as different as we are all welcome here, that we all have something to offer one another, and that our very being here is a gift. Help us to see that as individual and unique as we are, there is a common heart beating in our chest. And we are not really separate at all, merely fragments of one common, beautiful vessel, if we could learn to put the pieces together. Amen, and blessed be. And come, my friends, and let's worship together.
Good morning. I'm Beth Wilson, one of your worship associates. Shall we light the chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition? Perhaps a volunteer would like to come forward to light the chalice flame this morning. You could be young, or you could be middle, or you could be old. It could be anybody. We have a member of the choir coming to light the chalice. Oops. Thank you.
I was hoping it would guilt my daughter into coming up also. But...
Oh, thank you, Jason. Our chalice lighting words today are by the Reverend Robin F. Gray. We join our voices in a holy communion of mind and heart, dedicated to the promises that bind us in compassion with one with another. In this hour, we light the flame that signals our intention to find the sacred in every living thing. Now, please stand as you're able for our affirmation by James Philip Blake. Please repeat each line after me, which helps our littlest UUs participate, even if they don't read yet. Love is the spirit of this fellowship.
Love is the spirit of this fellowship.
And service is its law.
And service is its law.
This is our great covenant.
This is our great covenant.
To dwell together in peace.
To dwell together in peace.
To seek the truth in love.
To seek the truth in love.
And to help one another.
And to help one another.
And now let's stay standing for our opening hymn. If any junior worship helpers, it's Columbus Day weekend, we don't have so many people here today, would like to join us up here to help lead our song, please come up now and bring your blue hymnal. Our opening hymn today is number 1002, Comfort Me. Good morning and welcome. Welcome especially to any newcomers, returning members of our community, and anyone who joined us online today. If you're tuning in live on YouTube or Facebook, please say hi in the chat or comments if you haven't already. We're delighted to have you with us. We're a community of many ages, but we all worship together. You can join us many ways on Sundays, including online, here in the sanctuary, or from one of the many rooms in our building where we live stream the service. In particular, I want to draw your attention to our family room for little ones and families, which is located out our doors and to the right. The family room is especially great if you need a place to talk, soothe a crying infant, get the wiggles out. Our service is live streamed there, so you won't miss a thing. Children of all ages are always welcome in all of our services, but we offer childcare as an additional option for families with small children aged 9 months to 5 years. Parents, if you find yourself in need of childcare at any point during the service today, please bring your little one to Room A in our Gateways Center. Again, welcome to everyone here with us today. We are glad you're here.
All right, so today is a religious education day, and that means that it is also a day when we have our Wonder Box. So I'm wondering if anybody wants to try to guess what is inside the Wonder Box by listening to the sound inside.
I don't know exactly, but something soft.
Something soft, perhaps? Any guesses over here? Paper. Papers is correct, and also ever so slightly off because we have an even more precise answer. I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to get out this paper. So, not just any paper, but paper with a map on it. Does anybody want to just take a quick look? I'll bring it up a little closer so you can see what might be on this map. What is this a map of? It's North America. And can you see? And Central America. And can you see some of the details on there? Maybe name a couple of things you see. States. Wyoming. So, I think some people may be guessing where we're going with this. So, any guesses from people today about why I have this map with me here today, on this day that we're celebrating dignity and compassion? If you have any guesses, go ahead and shout it out.
I don't know.
You're not really sure? Colonization, Columbus Day. Yes, so I have another map here that looks similar, but also in some important ways a little bit different. It's angled a different way, but does anybody want to take a glance at this and name something you notice on there? Name of one of these places. Indigenous. Yeah, indigenous lands. So there are some things in here: Ojibwe, Apache, Chiricahua, Navajo. It may be. Let's see. Lenape. I am not seeing it, but that does not mean. And I'm also noticing that some of these spaces on here are pretty big, so I'm willing to bet that there, if you were to zoom in even more, there would be more places. There's a really cool map online that I found that I couldn't print off today because it's sort of like Google Maps, and it looks at indigenous places all over the world. And so when you zoom in, you see more and more and more detail about the different people that have lived and live today in different places. So the reason we are looking at these maps today is that, as we heard earlier, and somebody shouted out earlier, it is Columbus Day weekend, as we sometimes call it. But there's another name that has kind of recently started being used instead. Does anybody know what that name is for this weekend? Indigenous Peoples Day. And so part of what we're talking about today when we talk about dignity and compassion is that, in our nation, in our world, there are people who are treated with dignity, and there are people who sometimes are treated as though they have no dignity. And dignity is a quality that a person has that makes us worthy of respect, makes us worthy of care. It's something that maybe inspires us to treat other people kindly. And so part of the reason why we choose to honor things like Indigenous Peoples Day is because Indigenous people in the history of our nation as well as today are often not treated with dignity. They're not treated as though they deserve honor, as though their history, their culture, their land, sometimes even their very lives are worthy of respect and care and protection in our society. And so that's part of why there is a shift now away from calling it Columbus Day, which honors a incorrect narrative of our country that Columbus did not discover North America. North America was already here, and other people lived here long before Europeans discovered this place, and also seeks to honor the histories of the people who were here before. So this service today itself is not about Indigenous Peoples Day or specifically about the rights of Indigenous people, but I want you to keep that in your head as we proceed today. All right. So switching gears now, it's time now for our milestones and passages. You know, sometimes we come to this sacred place with a whole lot on our hearts. You know, perhaps like in our opening words today, you are going through relationship troubles, or maybe your friend was mean to you this week, or maybe you had a very happy birthday, or perhaps you're celebrating an anniversary. And whatever your age and whatever the joys and sorrows of your own life, you can share them here in our service by filling out our milestones and passages form online before 9 a.m., which can be found in our newsletter, and we also have paper copies of that form that are available as you come through our doors, and you can just bring that up and we would share that in the service. We have one milestone passage to share today that has been submitted, so I ask that you respond after it by saying, "We hold you in our hearts." And those of you who are joining us online today, I invite you to join in the chat or the comments. This morning, Shari Lowe shares the following gratitude. She writes, "It is my continuing joy to serve as part of our vibrant Faith Formation Council. Multiple generations serve on the council. We are especially blessed with young parents and even younger folks with no kids of their own as yet. Our last monthly meeting, we kept having to add chairs to the room. The needs of our families have changed since I started teaching here almost 30 years ago. So we are adapting, doing new things, but keeping much of the old wisdom and approaches as our children grow into our faith and become more grounded in our Unitarian Universalist values. We hold you in our hearts." Let's take a quiet moment now for all the prayers and meditations of our own hearts. Go ahead and close your eyes and let yourself get comfy in your chair if that's something you want to do. Take a little bit of time just breathing. This is time to practice something we should all maybe take some time every day or at least every week to do. Let yourself hear the breaths of the people around you, this community that is holding you. Sometimes the spirit of life is described as being like a wind or breath, the breath of life. Feel the spirit of life holding all of us together in this still moment. Let's go ahead and take 3 deep breaths together, and then we'll enter into a minute of silence. Amen, and blessed be. Now let's go ahead and please remain seated for number 101. It's Abide With Me, which you can find in your gray hymnal as well as up here on our screen.
Our reading this morning is by the Reverend Naomi King. You may also know them as Stephen King's child. They are also a Unitarian Universalist minister. As a queer and genderqueer, fat, disabled person, their family legacy and personal commitment is toward intersectional, anti-oppressive community and justice-making. They were born with a rare genetic disease that creates chronic pain and compromises their immune system. After they spent years of their life unable to move without significant assistance or speak without an alternative communication device, Naomi learned to harness other energies to come back into their body and redevelop their voice. They write, "When we introduce ourselves to another person, we usually extend our hand and summarize ourselves with one word, usually our name. Hello, my name is Naomi. These are the kinds of face-to-face greetings that initiate relationships, that open our hearts and act as a bridge of connection from one person to the next. But there's another kind of one-word naming that goes on in our larger society that burns bridges, locks down relationships, and keeps us from living our promises to each other. We know these words. They are not words I need repeat here, for repeating them simply gives them more power. But they're the more horrible terms equivalent to shark and monster and demon. These are words denying inherent dignity. These are the words that undermine and attack inherent worth, for these words have one powerful, hurtful message. You are not worthy. You are not human. You are not enough. Throughout my life, I've had plenty of these words, those labels ascribed to me. So many that although I may stretch out my hand and say, "Hello, my name is Naomi," what I feel I'm saying at times is, "Hello, I'm worthless," or "Hello, I'm bad and wrong." I came into our religious community because we promised to counter these measures. I am part of a religious community because we promise not to reduce each other to terrible labels, not to strip each other of our humanity, not to ascribe levels of worthiness to one another. Most of us need to celebrate life, to feel our inherent worth, to be restored our dignity, to practice justice, equity, and compassion in human relationships. Most of us yearn to say, "Hello, I am somebody," and to be greeted, "Hello, somebody, welcome, we're glad you're here." Most of us hunger for affirmation and celebration in who we are and in the gifts and blessings we bring this world. Most of us come here to be greeted as the loving, generous, compassionate people we are. Each of us has at least one blessing. I believe each of us offers many blessings to this world and who we are. But sometimes we and our world, even our beloved community, might have a difficult time affirming and seeing those blessings. So right now, we're going to have a little exercise. Let's all close our eyes now, and with the power of our imaginations, picture a blank name tag and a writing implement in front of you. Feel the smooth paper beneath your fingertips and the slender cylinder of the pen or pencil, marker, or crayon. Now search inside yourself, inside your heart, and discover again one of your blessings, one of your gifts to the world. Loving, peaceful, generous, compassionate. There are so many traits and blessings. What is yours? Now write that blessing onto your name tag and stick your name tag over your heart. When you're done, please go ahead and put your real hand over your heart where the name tag in your imagination rests. Now, I invite you to open your eyes and turn to your neighbor to introduce yourself with the name you placed on your name tag. You can begin by saying, "Hello, my name is." I'll get us started. "Hello, my name is Creativity." Now it's your turn to introduce yourself to your neighbors. We are all blessings to this world. Our work of building bridges of connection by finding and naming and affirming those blessings we are is the work of nurturing our spirits and healing our world. Amen. We come now to the time in our service each Sunday when we pause to offer our gifts of financial support to this congregation. Your donations make all that we do here together possible and also help make our wider community a better place. That's because each Sunday we give at least half of the money we collect to an organization that is doing good work to advance our Unitarian and Universalist values of love, justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity in a world that hungers for them now more than ever. Today's offering will be split 50-50 with Wind of the Spirit, a resource center for immigrants working to achieve just and humane immigration reform. You may give in our collection plate or by following the instructions printed in your order of service and shown on the screen. Thank you in advance for your generosity.
Thank you, choir. I saw an image on Facebook the other day. At the top of the image, there was this giant arm, and the arm was labeled government. And beneath the arm, there was a crowd of men and women, and they were labeled the people. The people were pointing in dismay at something that was clutched in the government's hand, a torn piece of paper labeled social contract. The social contract in our country is broken. Our Constitution makes certain promises to the American people. It promises us that the government won't subject us to unreasonable searches and seizures, arrest us without a warrant and probable cause, or punish us without a trial. Yet earlier this month, our government broke into a Chicago apartment building in the middle of the night, refused to show a warrant, dragged the men, women, and children living there from their homes, some of them without any clothing on, and detained them for hours without informing them of what crime they were being accused of. 37 of those people were ultimately arrested, some on charges of being undocumented immigrants or gang members. And everyone, those merely detained and those actually arrested for actual crimes, were treated without dignity by the very government that's supposed to protect them. Now, we know that regularly demeaning an entire population of people makes it easier to get the general public to accept their mistreatment. If you can convince the American public that a diverse group of U.S. citizens, legal residents, and undocumented immigrants are really all gang members and drug dealers who are in our country illegally, then it becomes easy to start justifying hurting them. Like I said, our social contract is broken. Our government has broken its promises to we the people, namely the promise to honor our inherent worth and dignity and treat all of us, we the people, like people. And when promises like these are broken, people break too. Being terrorized and treated without dignity breaks people. It inflicts deep wounds. But there is a hymn that gives me hope and courage when I think about scary things like this, and we'll sing it soon. This hymn gives me hope because the song reminds me that even when social contracts are broken and when people are broken, they don't have to stay that way. They don't have to stay broken. What has been broken can also be mended. What has been hurt can be healed. And compassionate people can help make that healing possible. Healing looks a bit different, though, when people have been hurt, not necessarily by an individual or circumstances, but by society. You know, there is a saying, no justice, no peace. And for full healing to come, for peace to be restored, there must be social change. Otherwise, the pain will continue for as long as society continues inflicting it on people. And that is why it is an act of compassion to try to build a more loving and just world. I'm reminded of something that Cornel West said a few years ago. He said, "Justice is what love looks like in public." Justice is what it looks like when we love our neighbors by stopping the things in our society that hurt them and doing what we can to help heal the wounds that were inflicted. Remember the story of the Good Samaritan last week? Now imagine that instead of just tending to the injured man's wounds and bringing him to an inn for care, the Good Samaritan had also worked for justice. Perhaps if he was really strong, he might go and find those robbers and get that man's money back and give it to him. That would help right the wrong of the robbery itself, the theft of the man's property. And the Good Samaritan could also encourage his town leaders to ensure that the highways where people travel were better guarded so that people maybe wouldn't be robbed and hurt so often. Those are acts of compassion every bit as much as binding someone's wounds up or taking them to somewhere where they can rest and heal. In order to protect human dignity, compassionate people sometimes have to do more than just ask politely for the powers to be to do the right thing. And that is because the powers that be sometimes don't want to do the right thing. Or perhaps they do want to do the right thing, but only for people they think deserve to be treated right, people they think have value and are worthy of kindness and respect, people they think have dignity. But they may decide that others lack dignity and that it's okay, therefore, to mistreat them. And that is when it doesn't work to just ask those in power to do the right thing. You have to either find a way to change their heart and mind, or you have to find a way to exert pressure. Now, after the latter, exerting pressure requires disruption. So think of it this way. Imagine you are the man who was just attacked by the robbers, and you are injured, and you're laying there in the street. You need help. You deserve help. You have worth and dignity. You are a person. Well, to get help, you probably are going to need to draw some attention to yourself. You might need to shout so someone will notice you and say, "Oh dear, that person is suffering. I should do something about it." You may even need to interrupt someone's day to inconvenience them. Perhaps you need to get in the way of a few busy travelers until someone feels the pressure to do the right thing and take action, even if it's not convenient to them. So similar ideas apply when we are working for justice. Sometimes the situation is too urgent, too dire, too painful to just wait. Compassionate people may need to make some noise to draw attention to the suffering that's happening, or they may need to take direct action to try to put an immediate stop to it. Now, sometimes people call public protest performative. And sometimes it is performative, but that's not necessarily always a bad thing. A few years ago, the Unitarian Society of Madison set up some big boxes on their campus. And inside these boxes were outfitted with speakers that played this really jarring cacophony of sound. And people could sign up to be locked inside of one of those boxes. Now, the experience was intended to simulate what incarcerated people go through when subjected to solitary confinement. The organizers themselves referred to the project as an ethical spectacle. It was designed to draw attention, including from people who knew little about the inhumane ways that incarcerated people are sometimes treated. And after that experience, many people talked about how going in that box was transformative for them. Some people joined the congregation's prison ministry afterward. So sometimes a performative ethical spectacle can change hearts and minds. It can kindle compassion and inspire people to do other kinds of work for justice. And we will explore that more in a moment soon. But first, let's go ahead and pause now as we do here to sing before continuing our sermon. Our song is number 121, "We'll Build a Land." Let's go ahead and sing just the first verse for now. So that line we just sang, where peace shall roll down like waters and justice like an ever-flowing stream, comes from the Bible. It comes from the book of Amos, chapter 5, specifically. The text is ancient, but it sounds like it's describing something from our time. It goes something like this. Hear this word, Israel, this lament I take up concerning your concerning you. Fallen is Israel, deserted in her own land with no one to lift her up. There are those who turn justice into bitterness and cast righteousness to the ground. There are those who hate the one who upholds justice in court and detest the one who tells the truth. You levy a straw tax on the poor and impose a tax on their grain. There are those who oppress the innocent and take bribes and deprive the poor of justice in the courts. I despise your festivals. Your assemblies are a stench to me. Even though you bring me offerings, I will not accept them. Away with the noise of your songs. I will not listen to the music of your harps. But let justice roll down like a river and righteousness like a never-failing stream. So the speaker in the text is, of course, God. This is an angry God who is furious because a nation that claims to worship him is harming its own people. And it's clear that in this text, justice is something of both divine will as well as human making. The God of this passage wants human beings to not just treat one another with compassion, but to create a compassionate society where all are treated kindly. And there is another part of the song that we just sang a little while ago that jumps out at me, and it is the part that goes, "Come build a land where sisters and brothers," or all of the people is actually the new language, which I like, "anointed by God may then create peace." That line there, anointed by God may then create peace. It reminds me of this time when one of my interfaith colleagues in Raleigh, a Mennonite minister named Hugh Hollowell, began a simple ministry of compassion. Because it was Raleigh, North Carolina, he decided he was going to hand out biscuits in the park to hungry, unhoused folks. But the city authorities didn't think that he should feed the hungry in the park, not without purchasing a $800 permit first. Now, if they couldn't make money when people helped other people, they thought it would be better if the hungry suffered out of sight. That way, their presence wouldn't offend more well-off folks who might want to visit the park. So the authorities told Reverend Hugh that he couldn't give people biscuits in the park, and Reverend Hugh disagreed. He didn't think that those people were a public nuisance, but human beings with worth and dignity. And like everyone, they deserved kindness. So he decided that he didn't need the permission of any earthly powers to serve biscuits. He had permission, even a command from God, to feed the hungry. And you might say he had been anointed by God to pass out those biscuits. So Reverend Hugh gathered together a group of volunteers, and they all went to the park together to pass out some sausage biscuits. And the police showed up and threatened to arrest them for the crime of feeding the hungry. But the story doesn't end there with just this act of civil disobedience, because in addition to compassion, Reverend Hugh had another more modern-day spiritual gift. He was a skilled blogger. So he wrote about his experience, and what happened next became known as Biscuitgate. Google it, it's really funny. So Biscuitgate. So the public outcry because of this event humiliated the city of Raleigh so much that they ended up funding a new community center for the homeless run by Reverend Hugh. So their hungry people no longer needed to go to the park to get a biscuit. Now they could come into an air-conditioned building and receive a whole meal, then nap, charge their phone, get some clean clothing, visit the free grocery store in there, and have a gentle afternoon where they were cared about. Soon other organizations were supporting the community center as well, including my previous congregation. Now, Reverend Hugh saw people being dehumanized and suffering in his community, and he used his unique gifts to offer compassion. And in doing so, he didn't just feed the hungry himself, but he also organized his whole city to do so. And he did it because he had gifts that he felt called to use. He had kindness, bravery, creativity, blogging skills, and the ability to organize people and systems. And perhaps above all, he had the holy audacity to believe that he had the right and even the responsibility to challenge the status quo in his community, even if it was against the law. Now, earlier, we meditated on our own gifts, the qualities that we jotted down on our imaginary name tags. And like my friend, Reverend Hugh, we are called to use those gifts to offer compassion, each in our own unique way. And we'll take a closer look at that in a moment. But first, let's go ahead and pause again and take some time to stretch our bodies this time by rising as we're able for our hymn. We'll sing the second verse now. So last week's story about the Good Samaritan illustrated something called the Golden Rule. The Golden Rule is do unto others as we would have them do unto us. And the Golden Rule is a good one to live by, but I heard a funny story once by the Reverend Tiffany Faye Anderson, and it shows that there may be some limitations to the Golden Rule, and that story goes something like this. So once upon a time, there was a dog, a cat, a rabbit, and a snake. Well, the dog was really friendly, so one day he decided he was going to do some nice things for the other animals. He remembered the Golden Rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So first he went to the rabbit, and he offered her his favorite bone to chew. But the rabbit was not particularly happy. She stomped her feet, and she hopped away. And the dog was confused, but he decided to keep doing some nice things. So next he went off to his friend the snake, and he gave him his favorite tennis ball to play with. But the snake stuck out his tongue, and he slithered away. Man, the dog thought, there's some gratitude for you. But he didn't let himself get distracted from his task. So he headed to the cat next, and he decided to give her one of his favorite things, bath time. And you can imagine how that went. As soon as the cat realized what that dog meant to do, she hissed and she ran up a tree. I don't get it, the dog said sadly. I just want to make my friends happy, but no one appreciates the nice things I'm doing for them. Friend, the cat said from up on top of the tree, why in the world would I appreciate being thrown in a bath? And the dog frowned. Well, because I love baths. You can splash and shake your whole body and throw water everywhere. It is great. And the cat frowned back down at him. It's great for dogs, but I'm a cat. I hate water. How would you feel if I made you join me in my favorite activity, sleeping all day? Ew, the dog said. Sleep all day? I would be bored to tears. And the cat nodded. So you understand why we weren't happy, even though you were trying to be nice? And the dog answered, yes, I was trying to make you happy, but I only thought about the things that make dogs like me happy, not what makes rabbits and snakes and cats happy. And then he sighed. But the thing is, I really do want to do nice things for you, but I don't know what you like. Well, next time, just ask us, the rabbit said. We'd be happy to tell you what we like most. I can do that, the dog said, but I need a name for this new rule to help me remember it. You know, following the Golden Rule didn't quite do what I hoped it would. And then the snake said, there's already a name for the rule that you've discovered, and it's called Platinum rule. It's called the platinum rule. The cat nodded. The platinum rule is similar to the golden rule. Only rather than doing to others as you would have them do to you, you instead do to others as they would have you do to them. Yeah. So like the animals in the story, we are all unique people with our own unique wants and needs. And one way we can honor each other is by respecting these differences. And this is especially true when we offer compassion to someone who is hurting. You know, we're vulnerable when we're hurting. We may feel helpless and like our life is out of control. And this can be doubly true if a person is, suffering from injustice. And there are those who say that beggars cannot be choosers, as though people who need compassion have the least right to agency and self-determination. But the phrase should really be something more like beggars need to be choosers. People have a human need to have agency over their own lives as much as possible, especially when they're going through something hard. And this is true, too, of the kinds of compassion that we receive. A few years ago, a well-meaning person in my last congregation dropped a basket of groceries off on the doorstep of a young mother in the congregation. The young mother had shared some financial difficulties that she was facing, and the other woman decided to try to help by giving food and baby supplies. Now, the gesture was kind, but it didn't have the desired effect because the young mother felt embarrassed and disrespected. She had never said that she didn't have enough money to care for herself and her child. In fact, she had even told the other woman that what she needed most was a listening ear. She knew that the other woman cared about her and she was just trying to help, but instead of helping her feel better, the other woman made her feel unheard and disrespected on top of the financial struggles she was already have. May we do better when we offer compassion to those who are struggling. My friends, the world can be a painful place sometimes, but with a little compassion, we can not only help each other through, but also create the more loving and just society that we all deserve. So as we protect human dignity, may we do the work not just of charity, but also of justice. May we find our own unique gifts and use them to heal the world, and may we honor each other's different needs as we offer those gifts. Amen. Blessed be. May it be so. Let's go ahead and rise in body or spirit one more time and sing the final 2 verses of our song.
Before we close, I'd like your to draw your attention to our minutes for ministry. This is a time where we share brief updates about our congregation's activities to help us stay engaged with our community beyond our service. This morning, I'd like to draw your attention to the following announcements. Any newcomers with us today are invited to fill out a welcome card to help you get connected with us, which can be found on the welcome table in the foyer. You can also talk to our welcome ambassador, who would love to meet you and answer any questions. Look for the sunny gold sash. Anyone needing a caring presence this morning will find a compassionate listening ear with one of our lay pastoral care associates. You'll recognize them with their sky blue sashes. Starting today, we have a new sash-wearing volunteers role on Sunday mornings. If you have questions about our youth and children's faith formation program, please see one of our faith formation ambassadors in a bold green sash. Will today's welcome ambassador, lay pastoral care associates, and faith formation ambassador please stand or wave so we can see you all at once? Okay. This upcoming week, join us for some of our groups, congratulation activities, and volunteer opportunities. The Will and Harper movie discussion tomorrow, the Mindfulness Meditation Group Wednesday, the Children's Choir and Adults Choir on Thursday, the Celebration of Life for L. Bjork Birkenkamp, No Kings Rally, and Chili Cook-Off on Saturday. And the Shining the Light on Solar Energy special RE class for 3rd through 8th graders, mortgage prevention groups, and Celebration of Life of Geraldine Silk next Sunday. Today is our first newcomer welcome gathering of the fellowship year. If you're new, almost new, or returning after a long time away, this is your opportunity to say hello, meet Reverend Sasha and some of our members, and learn a bit about the fellowship and Unitarian Universalism. Details about these and many other activities, including dates, times, and locations, can be found on the back of your order of service, our weekly e-newsletter, or on our website at muuf.org. Okay, it's time for benediction.
It's time for us to bring our time of worship to a close, but although we extinguish our chalice flame, its light will continue to burn in our hearts. And as we go out into our daily lives, I leave you with the words of the Reverend Michelle Collins. Our time together ends, but compassion's work continues. May you carry forward the courage to choose kindness over convenience, remembering that your gentle choices ripple outward, healing our broken world one encounter at a time. Amen. Blessed be, and go in peace.